TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.
Listen, we are live. The Talk Show Kings are back, man. Y'all didn't know before. You're gonna learn today.
The thing about coronavirus is it doesn't care if you're black or white.
It doesn't.
It does not care if you're rich or poor. It does not exclude if you're a Republican or a Democrat.
I'm taking it as in it becoming a hostile environment.
I couldn't even go to the restroom. I would crawl to the restroom and hold the wall to not fall off of the restroom. I couldn't stand up to get in my bed because I seriously thought I was dying.
Hello and welcome to a wonderful, and I do mean a wonderful show. You are tuned in to Talk Show Kings, one of the hottest, I mean the hottest and the baddest show this side of the border. That's the south border, that is. I'm going to be hosting tonight. My name is King Lundy. But before we get into this amazing show, I want to allow the other kings to introduce themselves, starting with my far left.
All right, this is your boy ATL Doc, also known as Atlanta Doc. Coming at you live from the west side of Atlanta, where we are doing the Talk Show Kings.
Shout out to my family out in Florida, Jersey, California, Japan, the whole world. My name is King Trevor. We're going to be talking about fatherhood and some other things tonight. Appreciate y'all with us. And if you ain't know before today, you're going to learn today.
You're going to learn today.
And this is your boy King Mel. Listen, I'm willing to learn because King Trevor said I'm going to learn. Whatever y'all say, I'm willing to get what I'm saying. But man, welcome back. We appreciate you guys. And just for a shout out, if y'all just feel froggy and just want to do it, my birthday is Tuesday. I will be 42. I look good, don't I?
Absolutely. And I am the one and only. I am King Lundy.
King
and I also
Swag.
got a birthday coming too. My birthday is going to be Friday, November the 27th. And I love all the birthday shouts. So if you got them, go ahead and don't spare them. But we're going to get into an amazing show tonight. We get a plethora of phone calls. We get a ton of emails. Our executive producer, even our media director, Ms. Barsdale. And there are questions that are geared to the Kings on certain topics. Over the course of the last several weeks, we talked about politics. We talked about relationships. We talked about even the size woman that we like and what we date. But tonight, we're going to talk about the dads. Fellas, if you're listening out there, gather around your TV set and you tune in to Talk Show Kings. Now, we may change clothes. We can even change the tire on our cars. And a lot of us change jobs. But there's one thing that we cannot change. We cannot change who our father is. And getting into this conversation, because I'm quite sure the whole panel has children, we are all fathers. What makes the father not be the father when he so desperately needs to be?
Man, I think that most of the time when it's like that, it's just the relationship that you have with the mother or lack thereof, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's not even that you don't want to have a relationship with the mother, it's that the mother won't allow the child to have a relationship with you, you know, for whatever reason that may be. But I mean, I'm quite sure we can all come up with reasons that we've been given or something that we possibly even thought of ourselves, because we really don't have a logical reason as to why they're acting like that.
Yeah, the hardest part to me about being a father is not being able to be a father.
Yeah.
When you want to be,
When you definitely want to be.
when you want to be there for your children in some kind of way, whether they be right down the street or across the world, and the mother of your children doesn't allow you to be a part of the children's life because of beef y'all may have had inside y'all relationship, and she don't want to let you be a father. I know a couple dudes who committed suicide over not being able to see their children. So that's the hardest thing to me. Not like you said, not being able to get the opportunity to be there when you want to be there.
Right.
Well, personally, I would go with these two gentlemen. However, I do see a lot of guys who just choose not to be a father.
Right.
For whatever reason, they just choose to not be in their child's lives. I can't understand that. Like, that's beyond my level of comprehension. However, it is something that's out there. You know, I mean, yes, there are a lot of guys, I'm one, who don't get to see their children because, you know, they fell out with the child's mother and she just is in a position to where she won't allow you to see the kids. However, I know several ladies who welcome their child's father to be in the child's lives, and the guys just won't. I can't understand that, but I know it happens.
Right. I've learned that in life, and especially as being a father, when you are married to a woman and you and that woman divorce, it's almost like you divorce the kids as well. Because if she moves away and she takes the children with her, and it's almost like she's playing a chess game with you. And a lot of men that are incarcerated simply now because of child support. There are a lot of men that can't even drive because child support has suspended their license. And the thing about it is so hard, gentlemen, is that these same guys, they want to see the children. But say you leave the children, your baby mama, go out and get a girlfriend. All hell breaks loose. The relationship becomes toxic, and then not only for the both of you all, but for the children as well. It's some dads ain't seen their children, Doc, Trevor, in like 5 or 6 years.
I'm one of those dads. I haven't seen my children in 7.5 years. Of course, now my children are in another country, on another side of the world.
But if you could, I'm quite sure you would hop on a plane.
Brother, I have exhausted every avenue I can just to make contact with my children's mother, and she's just not trying to hear it.
And sometimes, unfortunately, with King Trevor, his kids are halfway around the world. Me, myself, one of my children are here. You know what I'm saying? My son, and I haven't seen my son now in 6 months. To be quite honest, throughout my son's entire life, and he's only 2.5 years, he'll be 3 in March, you know, I've only been able to be in my son's life for about 6 of those months. And, you know, I'm just at the mercy of whenever his mother, if she decides to unblock me, or whatever, if she needs me, then I'm allowed to see my son, whatever, you know. It's unfortunate that the state of Georgia is a for the woman type state. You know, they can take you to court and put you on child support, right? And you don't even have to show up to court, and they'll still put you on child support. Yet they won't. It's not made that you're allowed to see your child. And I just think that's so unfair to fathers everywhere.
So they'll
because,
take your money, but
yeah,
won't
they'll
give
take
you
your money, but
visitation
they won't
privileges.
give you visitation. You have to jump through hoops and hurdles and try and find lawyers and things of that nature, right? But the money that you're spending on a lawyer could be money that you're putting towards doing something for your child, you know?
You know, many situations, man, what happens is the baby mother equates your manhood and how the relationship might have ended with your ability to be a father, and they're not the same thing.
Absolutely.
It's not the same thing at all.
Absolutely.
A lot of times the female won't let you see the child because they're bitter about something.
Right.
Like in my case, I left my ex because of affairs. Well, regardless of the affairs or not, I wanted to be in my children's life, and found out that biologically,
Okay. All right.
found out
Your Dr. Mike.
I found out that biologically the kids aren't mine.
Right.
But I had been with them since birth.
Right.
And I wanted to continue being
And
with them.
taking care of them since birth.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was willing to pay her up
Right.
to $1,200 a month.
Still.
For 2 kids that
Right.
I knew weren't mine, but I had been with their lives. And to me, they're still my children. And they
Right.
always will be. I still
Right.
love them with all my heart. But she wanted double that. So she's not only trying to not let me see the children
Right.
unless she's trying to extort money out of me.
Right.
And I wouldn't do it. So when we went to court, you know, the judge sided with her, just like you were talking about.
Right.
And I have no parental rights.
So this woman, you were with this woman.
Yep.
You raised her 2 kids like they were
We
your
were
2
married,
kids.
and I thought they were my
You
kids.
thought they were
Right,
your
right,
kids.
right.
Yes.
But then you found out afterwards that they weren't.
Yes.
But you still were willing to be in those kids' life.
They-
Still offered money, and she didn't want enough.
Gave her
she,
money.
She didn't want it. She didn't say it
Gave
was
her
enough.
money monthly. But she realized that money I was giving her wasn't hurting me. Her biggest thing was try to hurt me. That's why I can't see the girls now.
Right.
It's because her thing is, it's not about the girls. I'm a 100% disabled veteran. My daughter should have gone to college free.
Right.
She took that from them because I don't want to be with her.
See,
To me, that's insane.
It is
But
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it is what it is. You can't fight the judicial system. I don't have millions of dollars to just keep going back to
Right,
court.
right.
And to me, it shouldn't even be about money. If I'm the
Exactly.
only father they've ever known, been with them since the time they were born, why would you take that away from them?
And you know the thing about and I'm glad you said something about the judicial system.
Yeah.
Because the thing about the judicial system is they never listen to the dad.
Oh yeah.
No matter what excuse you may have, they never listen to the biological father for absolutely nothing. If she goes down, she signed the documentation with your social security number on it and accuse you, and you don't even have to be the dad. You understand?
Yeah, I didn't
In
know that.
DeKalb County, there was this young man, and he had was going with this girl, and she got pregnant, and she had a child. Well, for 8 years, he had taken care of this child. Finally got his opportunity in court. Went to court. The test came back that he was 99% negative not to be this child's father. Do you know the judge still ordered him to comply with child support because the child was the only dad that he knew. But his fathers out there, like myself used to be one, that struggle with that because you can do all you can up to a certain point where you just can't do no more.
Exactly.
But when you have not given up, you know, like I was explaining to you and I was telling you, I didn't even know what a child abandonment was, you know, till it knocked on my front door. And then I'm like, well, what is this? I found out exactly what it was.
And again, the judicial system, it seems to be set up against the fathers who want to actually be there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even though I signed my son's birth certificate, right? And then when they put me on child support, they did a DNA test, right? And my son is my son. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that still doesn't mean that my child has been legitimated. I have to go through a legitimation process. Yes, you have to go through a
Now,
legitimation
what does it
process.
consist of? You mind asking?
It goes through, if you proven the child is yours, right?
Right.
And then you have to go through a series of things where you have to go file in whatever county if you know where the child is at. In my case, I don't even know anything.
So him looking like you is not enough.
Listen,
And
man.
getting a DNA test.
Listen, man, and doing the DNA, but you still have to go legitimate your child so you can have rights to your child.
Right.
You get me?
Wow.
And then you have to go through another process to try and get visitation. Now, here's my thing. You can take my money. You can put me on child support if I don't show up to court.
Right.
If I sign the birth certificate and you have proven that this child is biologically mine, I shouldn't have to go through a legitimation process. This is telling you that this child is mine. The mother should not be able to run wherever they want to run with the child. I tried to find my son's mother here in Atlanta, and the only thing I can come up with is a P.O. box. Right? In order for me to get something, I would have to go and get a lawyer who would then go and either have to find a private investigator or somebody to try and find her, or, right, have to subpoena the child support people for the address where she's at.
It's all about money, though.
Right.
And that's the sad case.
It shouldn't be. But like I was talking about earlier, as far as, children out there, and the fathers know who know they have a child,
Right.
and they do nothing as far as child support, as far as visitation, and they have the ability to. That is so hard for me to understand. When my ex was pregnant,
Right.
I would put my mouth on her stomach and talk to my daughter,
Right.
and she would move.
Right.
I fell in love with her then. When she came out and she was on the little table under the light and she was screaming, I walked over to her and I said, "Hey, baby." Same thing I used to say when she was in the stomach. She stopped crying and started looking. I was hooked. There was, I stayed with my ex for a lot longer than I would have normally
remember you
if it
said
wasn't
that.
for my daughter.
Right.
Because, I was in love with her.
Right.
I mean, my ex, I felt like, I told her I wanted to get married once and make it last forever.
Right.
And I was trying. But if it wasn't for my daughter, that wouldn't have lasted nearly as long as it did.
Absolutely.
And then, when the other two came, hey, it was the more the merrier. I loved being a father.
Right.
I really did,
Right. If you'll hold that thought, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. We do not want to lose you. We're talking about a
phenomenal
talk right now, and it's geared towards the fathers. Fathers, if you're out there listening, stay tuned. We'll
Stay
be
tuned.
right back.
And
You
talk
are
to us.
tuned
Let
in
us know what you
to
think.
Talk Show Kings. We'll be back.
Welcome to Burke's Jewelry. How may I help you?
We're looking for engagement rings.
We offer a wide selection. However, I believe we have just what you're looking for. Burke's Jeweler is your family's jeweler at 491 Flat Shoals Avenue Southeast, Atlanta, Georgia 30316 in East.
Welcome back to the show. You are tuned in to TV 1061
out in
Douglasville, Georgia.
You know
There you
it.
go. You tuned back in to Talk Show Kings. Before we left, we were speaking on an amazing topic. This topic is concerning dads, and we're talking about men that are real fathers that accept the responsibility of being fathers, but are often denied by the system, by their baby mothers, and also sometimes even by the children themselves. We're going to jump right back into it, and we'll start off with you, Trevor, because we know you got kids that's abroad, you know, and how's that affecting you as a man personally in knowing that you want to put hands on the situation, but because of the circumstances, you are not able to do so?
Well, first of all, I want to say, in the same way that there's legal ramifications for men who don't financially support their baby mothers, I think there should be legal ramifications for women who don't allow fathers to see the sons. Some kind of legal recourse that we can take that forces these mothers to do the same thing they want us to do. They want us to take care of our children financially.
Yeah,
I agree.
Exactly. But there's nothing out there that forces women to open the doors to see their children. Now, go ahead.
I think, and just piggyback, because it's just killing me in my spirit. I think that when a woman takes her children's father to court, I think even the court should want to know, well, why can't he see the child?
Exactly.
What are you mad at him that he cannot see the child?
I don't
Why?
even think that should matter. Because whether whether you and her get along or not, if you have an interest in your child and you're not an abusive person or you're not bad intent or you don't have ill will toward your child, you should be able to see him. Because a strong child, to me, a man and a woman makes a stronger child. If the child has both the love and that gooey whatever affection from the woman and has that sense of responsibility and protection from the man, it makes a stronger, well-rounded child, in my opinion.
But you know what? I think the state, in particular in this country, has a stake in creating abandoned children and weak young men whose fathers aren't there, who feel animosity towards their fathers, which further rips apart the family and causes a situation where there's just hatred.
You got to realize this is me paying child support, and when you're paying child support, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at, okay, I haven't seen my child in such and such, but here I'm paying almost $400 a month in child support, right? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening with them. At one point, my son's mother even tried to take me off of his pediatrician's paperwork, right? Because when she first tried it, she did it, they told her that she couldn't take me off of there because I was there and signed the papers myself. She eventually ended up switching doctors. Now, if she switches doctors, then she doesn't have to put me on there. You see what I'm saying? She can be the sole person on there. And with all that being said, I'm looking at child support coming out. This is how you know they have a stake in it. If I pay child support through my bank account from debit, right? Not only do they charge me like $1.25 or something like that, right? Just to for them to distribute it to her.
Transaction fee.
But no, they also turn around and send you to a third party, who then charges me another $8 and something.
For processing.
Right. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So now I'm out of their money, plus the other party's money, and my money out of my bank account, right? And I'm still not allotted time with my son. And I just feel like at this day and age, if you're not allowed to be a part of your child's life, your child is subject to either think that you don't love them or the mother's allowed to plant this, that, and the other in the child's head, and they don't see you, so they don't know anything different.
Out of sight, out of mind.
And on top of all that,
and a lot of times the mother will turn the child against them. Talking down about them. Like I never talked down about. I'm sorry. I never talked down to my children. I never talked down about my ex to my children, because regardless of how I feel about her, that's still their mother, and I never want them to disrespect her. In fact, I would get on to them if they disrespected her, even though I don't care for her as a person. That's not something I want to pass on to them. But for me to just be X'd out of their lives. I feel like it's wrong. And in your case, I don't even understand how that works, because if you're paying child support, you should have legal visitation unless something, unless you were like some kind of, not saying you are, unless you're some kind of child molester.
No,
or some
that's
shit
different.
like that,
I have a
or
tendency
something
to
like
say
that.
the same thing.
Then
Right.
I can't.
Abusive or child
That just
molester,
makes
something
no
like that.
sense
Right.
to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I can't. My mind can't grasp that concept.
Well, you know, in my opinion, man, what you said you're dealing with, it's taking money away from you, money coming from here, there, and you still don't get to see your children.
Yeah.
What that does, man, is that creates emotional, mental, psychological chaos in your mind.
Exactly.
Makes it harder for you to do your job. Makes it harder for you to take care of yourself. Makes it harder for you to, you know, just operate as a normal human being. And again, I believe it's a concerted effort by powers that be to break down the man, and in particular, the black man here in this country, which devastates our whole community.
Every man that works for a living, he wants, at the end of the day, he wants to see where his income is going.
Absolutely.
How it's spread and how it's divided. And when you see where your income is going, well, I know I got the mortgage, I know I got the car note, I know I got the insurance. And it's almost like, I'm a realist. I believe in things that are tangible. See, I can touch you, that's tangible. But when I can't touch something, it becomes obsolete. In your situation, you know you got $400 a month coming out of your check. And you still don't get the opportunity.
Where's that 400 going? What's it for?
Absolutely.
But here's how crazily devastating that situation can be.
Right.
Here it is, a pandemic, right? I don't have the same job that I had when they first put me on for child support. So granted, you know, if I'm paying $400 a month, I was making decent money. But in this job wasn't even a full year round. It only lasted about 8 months out of the year. You know what I'm saying? Before it got too cold to do what I was doing. So you're basing that upon just that singular job. I don't work that job anymore, and during this pandemic, since things have been slow or whatever, I have fallen behind in it, and you're still not even
nobody
trying.
you can talk to?
Huh?
There's nobody you can talk to about that?
Man, you know how hard it is to get in contact with people, for people to call you back.
I don't.
I'm saying. But right now, during this pandemic, I mean, yes, the pandemic is serious, right? But the fact that people are able to work from home, not in the offices, they can be working from home, not in the offices, and they can sit around and not do whatever it is they want that they should be doing, right?
I feel on that one.
And they don't get back to you, but yet they still charge you, right? And not only that, I have a younger daughter, my youngest child. She's a year and a half, also a little over a year and a half, right? Here's the thing: her mother moved out of state, but she said she was going to visit her family up north in Virginia. That was last August. I haven't seen my daughter since last August.
Now, why is that not kidnapping? Why? I mean, I'm being serious.
And I can tell you why it's not kidnapping, because in the state of Georgia, the mother has all the rights.
She's a custodial parent.
Exactly. She's the custodial parent. So without me having my child legitimated or anything, again, she can do all of this. And I just received a letter from the child support of the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Shamiki Wright says, I can agree that if a woman lies about paternity and the man pays child support for 18 years, she should have to pay all that money back. We can feel that.
Yes.
Mothers that try to prevent fathers from seeing the child because they have not received a child support check should have their license suspended, have to pay court costs that the man incurred to fight for the rights, and charged with reckless endangerment of a child by preventing the father from being in the child's life. I can feel you on that one too. Michael Fleming says he put up a website that says www.dadsrights.com.
Right.
So we have to check that out. Thanks, Mike. We appreciate you, bro. Shamiki also says the immature fathers that do not do right all makes it hard for fathers that are working hard. I feel you on that one. But when Dr. King was doing the civil rights movement, a lot of his support was from black families. When the father was working at the factory and he was supporting his family or whatever, they supported that movement. I believe when he was killed, that the government intentionally separated the families and said that, you know, that would help to destroy our community. I think that's why mass incarceration happens. I think that's why our unemployed rate always goes high and things of that nature, because it's all a plot to keep us from being away from each other. Just like I think that the black woman being the most educated human in America, while I find it to be magnificent and great, an educated woman is less likely to have children. I think that that's planned. I think that all of that's planned because it's destroying the family.
Right.
With the men in jail, and then they're promoting homosexuality in
Yes.
black men so rampant. Homosexuality in black men is about 7%.
Yeah.
So 93% of black men are not homosexual. The percentage of black men not with black women is about 20%.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
80% of black men are with black women. But it's not. It doesn't seem like that when you listen because it's not promoted.
Right, and you know, Doc, also, it has to start with not only black women, but just women all across the world
Yeah,
that are
it
doing
does.
this to the fathers.
It does.
Yeah.
But especially in the black community, in our own race and culture, the black women got to understand that when you do this to a black father, you are doing this to the child, you're doing this to the community, you're doing it to our population, all for a check.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You ruin this man's life.
And this little boy's
Yeah,
life.
and
that little
these
girl's life.
children's
Yeah,
life,
facts.
and you're not thinking
Big
about
facts, King.
longevity. You're not thinking about what's going to happen to
Exactly.
the future of this daughter of this boy. You know, all because
Yes.
you mad at him, and you mad at Trevor, you
Yeah.
mad at Doc, you mad at King London. It did not work. Everything wasn't supposed to work. Nobody's going to be here for
Facts.
nothing lasts forever. Jesus didn't even last forever.
Exactly.
So how do you think every relationship that you're in is supposed to last forever? When it ends, it just ends. And when it's with children, then you come to the best resolve. You come to what I call an amicable agreement, and you move on.
My father and my mother, my biological mom, they were high school sweethearts. They were each other's
Yes.
first. But after having my dad was in the Navy, my mom was trying to put herself through college. She gave me to my dad's parents, and it's when I was 6 months old. You know, my dad ended up eventually getting out of the Navy, but he had a drug problem. You know what I'm saying? Right now, my dad's been clean for 30 years. You know what I'm saying? So thank God for that. But
How's the
you know,
relationship with you and your dad?
oh man, me and my pops, man, we are, oh God, we are excellent.
That's what's
and the
up.
thing is, through all of that, you know, one time I told my dad, I said, you know, I talked to him, I said, you know, you weren't there for me. You know what I mean? When I needed you. And you know what he told me? He said, well, hell, Mel, I'm gonna tell you like this. I understand your frustration and everything, but I wasn't there for myself. There was no way I could be there for you. You know what I'm saying? I understood that after getting older. But we got to break, I guess, right quick.
Absolutely.
When I come back.
So hold that thought. We'll be right back. You're tuned into an amazing show. You're tuned in to Talk Show Kings. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Are you an artist, a writer of spoken word? Do you have content ready but need exposure? Get to know me. I'm Alicia, host of a new Facebook live stream show called The Flavor, where we promote local and international talent of all genres. Here are some rules and regulations to the videos that we'll be accepting. They must be radio ready, no cursing, no lewd language. You must send us contact information as well as a YouTube link to your video so we can extract it from there. Email us at 1061tv@gmail.com, and we thank you for your time.
Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Elmer Horn with Douglas County Sheriff's Office, and we're here at one of our communities, and Sheriff Pounds is here with us. And Sheriff Pounds is very involved in his communities, and he come out. We brought out our grill and our smoker so we can come out and help cook for this community. And Sheriff Pounds himself has come out and helped cook with us, and he's here to cook and help these folks today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the programs that I call Taking My Community Back. If you don't get out there and get involved in your community, you ain't gonna be able to get it back. And the sad part about it, we losing our young men at such a pace that it's unreal. We got to come up with something that will help us with these children. Got to. So this is what I'm doing. I love it. I'm out here in the sun. It's hot, but like I said earlier, we're gonna do these until we get that gap between law enforcement and the community bridge. We're gonna bridge that gap because we're gonna get out of here, we're gonna shake hands, we're gonna find out they got any kind of problem we can assist them with, and invite them to the sheriff's office and come to the roll call. Just come see what's going on at the office. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you, Sheriff Pounds. And like I said, this is just one of many events that we bring this grill out to help with our communities and get involved.
Hi, I'm Harry Lennox, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network.
Listen, we are live. The Talk Show Kings are back, man.
Y'all didn't know before. You're gonna learn today.
The thing about coronavirus is it doesn't care if you're black or white.
It doesn't.
It does not care if you're rich or poor. It does not exclude if you're a Republican or a Democrat.
I'm taking it as in it becoming a hostile environment.
I couldn't even go to the restroom. I would crawl to the restroom and hold the walls to not fall off of the restroom. I couldn't stand up to get in my bed because I seriously thought I was dying.
Oh, you called us. Welcome back to the broadcast. You are tuned in to Talk Show Kings. Well, before we go back into the show, I just want to give you a live screen listening of TV 1061 and the many programs that we got and the great and wonderful opportunity that we have to share them with you. And you can tune in almost every day that you got a chance. On Wednesday night, we have a show called The Flavor. The Flavor is if you have excellent talent, if you can sing, if you poetry, whatever you can do that comes to mind and you think you're good at it, tune into The Flavor and they'll show you exactly who to talk to and who to get at to make your dreams come true. Also, we got the playlist. That's at 9:30 p.m. You can listen to all the soft jams, some of the hit, but the majority of the hip hop for you youngsters out there. We got you. On Thursday, Bedroom Chronicles, and that's at 6 o'clock. All right, kids, if it's too early for you, you better go to bed. These chronicles ain't no joke. Also on Saturday, we got One Nation, and that's at 2 o'clock. One Nation what? Under a Groove. You heard the Talk Show Kings.
Go give it to me.
Yeah, exactly. And at 3:30, we got yours truly. We got The Conversation. If you want to listen to some talk and some gospel, join the conversation. And on Sunday, that amazing Sunday. We got those divas that should be returning soon. But if you missed them, they'll be back. Talk Show Divas. And you can hear the divas at 4:30 p.m. every Sunday on TV 1061. But we save the last but not the least. And we talking about 4 educated brothers from all over the world. We've traveled through the generation just to get here to see you. I'm talking about King Doc, King Trevor, King Mel, and me, myself, King London. We're talking about the Talk Show Kings.
Yes,
and we are brought to you no other live than our boss man, the big dog, Felix, Mr. Alexander, our director, also Miss Shantae Barksdale. You know what you're doing on that media end. Keep it going, girl. Get us what we need out there. And also Mr. Justin Pulley. Sir, we hope you get well soon and come back and run these technologies. But we're going to get right back into the show, and we're going to come with you, King Mel.
Yeah.
Because you're a daddy, right?
Definitely.
Tell them what daddies tell them.
Hey, man, listen. You're going to learn today. Sit down and listen to this. But I was telling them this here, man. But no, I was saying before we got, my dad and my mom were high school sweethearts, and they had me, and they gave me. But my biological mom passed away when I was 13, So when I come to dealing with my kids' mother, I never speak down about them. I may not like the situation at hand and how they handle it with our children involved, but I will never speak down upon them. But I just wish that they wouldn't do this. I wish that women wouldn't do this, period.
Because men don't generally do that.
But you got to understand something. Tomorrow is not promised. And that means my biggest fear.
Right.
That my child misses out on spending time with their father because you choose to do so. And today could be your last.
I'm a loner. I don't really hang with a bunch of people.
But
a lot of the females that baby girl talks to, they're single mothers, not by choice.
Right.
They would like for the father to be in the child's life, and the father's just not. Now, do you guys think that that's the majority, or the majority are mothers who don't want to be want the father in the child's life?
I think the majority of your last one, mothers don't want the father, because it takes a special kind of guy that will be able to look at a child and the child looking just like him to say, I don't want to fool with you. I don't want to have nothing to do with you. Exactly. Your mother and I didn't make it, so guess what? We're not going to make it. Exactly. I don't think too many men would go that route. But on the woman's end, when she's done with you, she's done with you with everything, the children and everything. And that's sad about it.
And what's really sad about that is women don't understand, and they don't understand because they're women, how important a father is to the children. I can remember growing up, watching my father. My father was a Jamaican man, kind of mean, kind of angry, but that dude was my superhero.
Right, exactly.
And I mean, that dude was my absolute superhero. I looked up to him in every way possible. Like, the dude was almost a god. This power that fathers have with children is similar to the power of God. It's a similar kind of power, and when a woman takes that away from a child, that leaves that child with no direction. It leaves that child defenseless, both literally and figuratively. He can't. That little boy or little girl can't defend himself from what's coming at him from the world. He has nothing powerful to stand in front of him, and that mother, that bitter, angry mom who is denying that child the right to be taken care of by the father, has just left that child in a really defenseless situation. It's almost like not having an immune system.
It is.
And women don't know that, and they need to recognize that. But again, here we go back to what King Doc is always saying. I believe, I don't want to keep talking conspiracy stuff, but I believe it's a plot myself. It's a plot to infiltrate these women's minds to make them think that men are not necessary. Fathers ain't necessary. You don't need a dude at home. And nothing could be further from the truth.
We give you
free cheese,
we give you this. You don't need no black man. We give you this.
All four of us are African American, so we have an African American point of view. But I don't believe this is just an African American problem as far as fathers not raising their children. But let me go into some of these comments. Michael Fleming also put fathersrightsmovement.us. If you have a chance to look through the comments, look through there and see the 2 websites that Michael Fleming put up. And if you have problems, then you might want to look on there and see if they can help you. Gregory Bauer says, facts. Thanks, Greg. Busta Rhymes addressed this on a song on his new album. What's the name of that song, Greg? Marshall and Lundy. I agree, men should be able to see your child, but you guys got to realize you should have been in their lives day one. You say it's my child, but then a lot of men want to play part-time dad, and the moms are full-time, and it takes a judge to make a lot of you pay for your child. But in all fairness, when you go to court, you should state then and there you want to be a part of your child's life with visitation rights before you leave the courtroom. I feel you on that one. I can't dispute that, but in some situations it's a little different. Shamiki says a lot of females use child support as leverage to get what they want. However, I think that black men and women need to learn to communicate with each other without a referee or the court. I can feel you on that because I know some women who say that they don't necessarily believe in child support, that they want the man to take care of his child, his child without the without.
Do.
Marshall and Lundy. See, a lot of men don't realize you have to do your homework. You got to keep paper trail on money you send on your child, receipts,
That's so real.
Showing the judge you spend as much money financially on your child as the mother does, and also a log of when you asked to spend time with the child and was denied. You have paper trail going to the court system.
That's true.
Michael Fleming says mental health issues for some of these women. I feel you on that one.
Absolutely.
And I think it causes mental health for some of the men. One more. Shamika says, there's another double standard I don't like. Why don't mothers have to bring their receipts? I don't think that they should. I don't think the mother shouldn't. I don't think they shouldn't. The mother doesn't.
I think that, when you say keep a paper trail, right? I get it if you're not on child support, right? Keep that paper trail, right? The thing is this here. When I went to take the DNA test for my son in court, right? I asked, did they have to be? She said, no, the mother doesn't have to be there, So they made us take it at separate times. She was actually supposed to take hers before mine, but didn't show up. So I ended up taking mine, and then she took hers later, like a month later, right? Thing is, man, you can say all of that you want to the judge, but if you're in a state where it's more of a pro-woman state or whatever, like Georgia is, none of that matters. I think that the laws need to be changed. Look, man, I'm not an abusive father. Mm-hmm. I'm not a molester. I'm not a rapist. I'm not any of that.
Right.
Right? With all that being said, I'm still having to jump through hoops and hurdles.
Right.
And there's so many fathers out here that have to go through that same thing with King Trevor, same thing you said with your situation. She took you to court and the judge sided with her. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Even though you were willing to do what you were doing. That was you stepping up to the plate as a father, as a man, right? Mm-hmm. And the judge still demanded more out of you.
Right.
You know? Like I said, I just received a letter from the Commonwealth of Virginia for child support for my daughter, whom I haven't seen since last August, when her mother told me she was just going to visit her family, right? It's a pandemic, and I asked her, I said, listen, don't do that. You're not gonna get what I'm already giving you. It's tight right now. Mm-hmm. I don't have it. I send what I have when I have it. Mm-hmm. That's just what it is. And this is me stepping up to the plate as a man. I remember sending a video through Messenger, and she told me there's no need for me to send video message or videos or whatever, or voice message. I don't listen to them and I don't watch them. And I told her, well, I don't send them for you. I send them for her. But if you don't want her to see me or be a part of my life, then so be it. That's your choice. You know what I'm saying? I can't do anything about that, especially when you don't move to a whole nother state and you tell me that you need help. Well, you moved. I didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Can I jump?
Go ahead.
Flip the script a little bit?
Go ahead.
What do you think was the most important lesson you learned from
sir.
your father? What do you think was the most important thing you learned about manhood from your fathers?
I have toxic masculinity, but I'm proud to say it, you know. Mm-hmm. But the thing I learned from my father is you can feel once your responsibilities are done. Nobody wants a man to, the rent is due, and he's talking about he feels bad, so he's not going to work. Man, or he feels this, that, and the other. So my father let me know that regardless of how you feel, you
handle your business.
You get shit done. If the trash needs taken out, I don't care how you feel. You take that trash out. You got a fever, well, you're going to have a fever once you put the trash in the can and you come back in. You can lay down or take a shower, whatever you need to do.
Was your father a military man?
He went to Vietnam, and they gave him drugs when he was in Vietnam. But he didn't stay but 3 years, I want to say.
Because that sounds like some military teaching right there. Handle your business no matter how you feel.
That was my dad. My dad taught me, you know, I'm a single parent father, so he taught me a little on how to cook.
So your father raised you?
Yes.
By himself?
Yeah, from the time I was in the 4th grade. My mother was there. Now, don't get me wrong, I went to see my mother very often. And my mother's, you know, she and I still crack up a lot. My mother is the author of my silly. But my father he taught me responsibility. He taught me regardless of what happened, you make a plan. That's why I did 20 years in the military. I didn't want to do 20 years in the military. I'm not military material, to be honest. I'm not the kind who conform. I'm not the kind who I'm going to listen to what you say and do it without thinking. I'm going to think about everything said to me. But I knew that if I could do 20 years, I would have income for the rest of my life. So that's what I said. That's what I went in there to do, and that's what I did. Because that's what my father taught me.
Good for you, brother.
You know, he taught me to have a plan, not necessarily go into the military, but have a plan and make sure that you always have income coming in. Always, regardless of what's going on. He was like, if you sick for a month, well, your rent, your heat still gonna be due at the end of that month. So what you gonna do? You know, and he would talk to me like this from the time I was, and I'm sorry to take all the time, but he would say, as long as you in my house, you ain't grown. As long as I'm buying your drawers, you can't tell me how grown you are. And I used to pass that to my daughters. Like, I would tell them that, you know, integrity means you do the right thing because it's the right thing. I stress
even if
that.
Nobody's watching.
Period. If it's the right thing to do, that's what you do. But I also stress that you not grown until you self-sufficient. So I didn't want them to grow up thinking that some guy was going to take care of them or thinking that this, that. Even if that happens, that's wonderful. That's beautiful.
It is.
But be able to take care of yourself. Be able to cook, be able to clean, be able to pay your bills, be able to do everything on your own, because that's what you need.
We'll take a break. Now, when I come back, I'll give you my answer.
I took all the time.
We'll take a quick break, but we'll be right back. You're tuned in to Talk Show Kings. We'll be back.
How can you find a reliable source of CBD products? Introducing Holistic Wellness Boutique, a revolutionary collection of CBD tinctures, CBD topicals, CBD edibles, CBD pet products, and other relevant CBD products that help you incorporate CBD into your everyday lifestyle. The best part? Through our special Radiant Transformations program, Dr. Alea Daniel, PharmD, a well-regarded wellness coach, licensed pharmacist, and the mind behind the idea of Holistic Wellness Boutique, will also introduce you to a healthier lifestyle through proper education, nutrition, and a thorough medication evaluation to make the most of our exemplary CBD products. If you are struggling with a chronic condition, we can help you discover how to live a more holistic lifestyle through wellness coaching and the proper selection of hemp-derived CBD products. Visit holisticwellnessboutique.com to schedule a consultation or order an audacious combination of hemp-derived CBD products that will rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit. How can you find a reliable...
Michael Kyle, you're funniest man on the planet, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network. Stay tuned, because that's how they do it over here. Big time party. All right, see y'all later. Bye.
Hey, welcome back to the show. This is our last and final segment. We hope that you truly and still are enjoying this segment, talking about fathers, talking about children, talking about baby mamas. I mean, we're just letting you have it. And we're not reading scripts or anything. We're coming from the heart. We're coming from experiences. All of us are dads up here, so we're taking you to where we've been. We're not going to sugarcoat it. We're going to shoot straight from the hip. But hey, listen, the times are hard. All of us are going through a pandemic. So we know that because we're going through a pandemic, we know that everybody needs some systems. Everybody needs some help. Well, guess what? The Talk Show Kings, we need help as well. We need your generosity. We need your support. And we're talking about coming from a financial standpoint. If you can look at the screen and if you can share with us each and every Sunday an opportunity to get some wonderful facts and topics, then feel free to donate. You know, we like any contribution that you may give us. You can go to our Cash App, which is $TV1061, and make a donation to the show. Anything will help. You know, we're trying to promote the show. We're trying to get it on the airways, but yet and still, we come here each and every Sunday, and we're going to continue to feed you with what we know, whether it be politics, sports, relationships, any topic that you want. And let us know, Doc.
And we moving to Roku, dog. Roku. Yeah, we about to have our own channel on Roku. So hey, make sure y'all tune in to TV 1061 on Roku. And if you want to advertise, a friend of mine, her real estate just keeps popping up. She advertises with us. So I'm saying if other people want to advertise, then let us know. Email us at TV1061@gmail.com.
Yeah, absolutely.
And let us know that you want to email. That you want to advertise during the show.
Okay. We get definitely make some suggestions.
Yeah, we get about 1,500 views a week.
Absolutely.
So, you know, hey,
but
that's
I'm going to
a whole new market
answer
for
the
you.
question that King Trevor spoke to Doc and myself about, and he said that, what was the question?
The question was, what was the greatest lesson you learned from your father?
Absolutely. I thought you wasn't going to ask me. The greatest lesson that I learned from my dad is that I didn't experience coming from a broken home. My father and mother was in the house with my siblings and I for almost 20, 30 plus years. And my dad was always there. You know, my dad was a hard worker. My dad was a 7th grade dropout grade school entrepreneur. And what I mean by that is he never had a college education. He never had a high school diploma. My dad never even had a 7th grade graduation certificate. But guess what? He owned 4 nightclubs. He owned, he patented a leather belt for himself. And he became an entrepreneur. So the most important thing that he taught me is hard work. And he taught me that the core value of yourself doesn't come from a payroll check. The core value comes from what you can pay yourself. If you work a 40-hour-a-day week, you'll get 40 hours worth of pay. But you hear people all the time saying, I don't make enough. You don't make enough because you're not paying yourself. Somebody else is paying you. And that's what I got from that. So I became an entrepreneur myself. And I started several businesses. And I started paying myself my core value. So he taught me leadership. He taught me direction. And he taught me no matter what people tell you, investigate for yourself. If Doc told me that door is closed over there, and I listen to Doc, and I don't go over there to check the door, but I'm believing that Doc said the door is closed.
That means you letting Doc live your life. For you.
But when I go over there, the door is wide open.
Fear kills a lot more dreams than failure.
Absolutely. You know, so my father taught me so very much, and he beat it out me too now. You know,
all of us, I think all of us have had.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've had that with him, but I guess with me, man, because my dad and his dad helped raise me, you know, even my mom's dad, you know, Granddaddy Bob, you know, they taught me this, right? Look, man, I watched them men work. Right now, my dad is 60 years old, and he works 2 jobs, right? So when I see somebody out here talk about what they not gonna do, I don't know what to tell them because I don't understand that, you know. My daddy used to have a business that was called, I think he still has it, but he doesn't do it as much anymore. It was called Mel's Handy Hands. So you know, whether he was doing yard work or painting or plumbing or whatever, he was, you know, he's a jack of all trades, master of none. My grandpa, his dad, you know, used to be a commercial fisherman. I watched this man build crab traps. I can't build one to this day to save my life, but he used to be able to get out there and build crab traps and everything else. Granddaddy Bob, he was like a foreman or leader on like the little, we call them the graders, but they go and pick up the you plant potatoes and broccoli and all. He did all that. He was in North Carolina. Mr. Furby paid him so much god doggone money, you know. But most important lesson I learned, man, is that, listen, even though when things don't seem to be perfect, you know, you just can't give up. You know what I mean? Giving up means you're giving up on yourself. You know, like you said, nothing should stop you from wanting to be a father. I came to the show today. Right before I came to the show, I was with my lady, and my back was hurting. But I popped some Excedrin, you know, extra strength or whatever. Came to the show. My back feel fine now. But you got to do what you have to do. You can't allow things like you said to, well, like you said, if you have a fever, well, you're gonna still have a fever if you don't take the trash out and come back. It's still gonna be there. You're gonna have a fever regardless. So if it's not, it don't have you bedridden, get up and go. And that's what I'm gonna keep doing. That's why I won't stop fighting for my kids.
That's the attitude to have.
I'm not gonna stop fighting for my kids. So you know, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. I see you in court.
Your turn, sir.
Well, okay, so my pops is Jamaican. I'm Jamaican. So my pops moved here in the 60s, wasn't a citizen. He moved up to New York, met my mom in New York. They got married up in there, and I remember we were living in a tiny little apartment in Brooklyn for a while, you know, me and cousins and aunts and uncles and whatnot, and then we eventually moved out to Queens. And like King Lundy, what I saw my father do was take his natural talents, his natural entrepreneurial skills, and build it to where he started getting respectable jobs in New York with manufacturing companies and things like that without a degree, with that crazy Jamaican accent. And my father was always there. Then we moved down to Florida, right as I was about to graduate from high school, and there's no manufacturing in Gainesville. We moved down to Gainesville. There was no manufacturing. So my father could have easily given up. But what did my father do? My father opened a goat slaughtering business. My father took what he knew as a kid growing up in Jamaica, killing goats, and turned it into a business. And you know, that really, really impressed me because we moved from New York where he had these manufacturing jobs making 60, 70 grand a year. Moved down to Florida, there's no jobs like that. What am I going to do? I'm going to do what I know how to do. I can kill goats. I can make, you know, sell goat meat, do all kinds of stuff, fix people's cars. My father taught me, you know, Trevor, go outside and, you know, mow the next door neighbor's lawn, all kinds of things like that. So just like you, King Lundy, I learned from my pops that, you know, where you from and what you don't know is not what's going to decide your fate.
That's
what
right.
you do for yourself is going to decide your fate. And again, women just don't have that sense of entrepreneurial thing inside them to teach either little boys or little girls. And when they don't allow the father in the life to that child, they are cutting off that whole sense of dig deep and make yourself the best that you can be.
I won't say women don't have it, but I will say that it's definitely transferred better from a man, because the child looks up to a man for protection, and a lot of times they listen. Like I spank my daughters, maybe my oldest probably about 6 times in her life, the one under her once, and the one under her never, because they just didn't need it. They listened. My ex could yell at them till she was blue in the face, pop them and everything. But all thing I had to do was walk up and talk. My oldest daughter was choking once, and I walked up to her and said, "Stop."
But you was there though. Right now.
I swear for goodness. My ex was she worked in the hospital, so she had her arm up and she was patting her on the back and talking to her and this, that, and the other. And her eyes, you know how your eyes water when you're choking. So I knew she was really choking, but I didn't know what to do.
And you know, hey, stop doing that.
I went up and said, "Stop."
And she said, okay.
But
it's not choking. Get to some of the comments if you don't mind.
Yeah, I got you right here. You know what I'm saying? We had what was that?
What Shamika said, if a deadbeat father.
Oh yeah. Shamika Wright says, if you have a deadbeat father, this process is understandable. However, it's a lot of fathers dealing with issues due to moving on with another woman or refusing to pay bills in his baby mama house, and in the end, the child suffers, which that is true. It is. You mad because he's moved on and he's no longer putting up with those shenanigans. And I can say that happens with some women too. When they move on from an abusive relationship or whatever, the man starts to act crazy. So it's a vice versa situation. But in this case, we're just talking about the fathers. Marcel Lundy says, my dad taught me the hustle of life as a woman. What not to take as a woman what not to take as a woman from any man, but mostly taught me to be a strong black woman. He even taught us to dress our best, which is a great thing. He teaching you how to keep yourself presentable. So
my sister, by the way.
Hey sister, how you doing?
She's also deep.
But then we got Shamika Wright says, my dad was married to my mom the first 8 years of my life, and said he didn't know it back then, but he taught me that a man can walk away and leave at any time. Never let him leave you in the dirt. Never let him leave you in the dirt, right? And unable to fend for yourself, which is true. You definitely want to be able to fend for yourself.
That's a hard lesson.
I think that any parent, whether it's a male or a female, you should teach your child how to at least get out there and cut the grass. You know what I'm saying? That's a hustle in itself, because listen, a woman, you may have a daughter. She may or may not be with the man. She may not be with the man that owns the house, and she may or may not be able to afford lawn service. There's nothing wrong with getting out there and doing it yourself.
I hear all kind of pain in that statement. A man can leave at any time. I mean, I don't think like that. Maybe I'm an anomaly, but I would never just up and leave my children. Now, I'm not going to be beat on by a woman, and I'm not going to be cheated on. Those are the two things that I would just walk away. I can't do it. But I would still try to maintain a relationship with my child. Shamiki, I hope that there's not as much pain as I think that I see. But if there is, then I'm praying for you, and I know you're a strong woman, and thank you for commenting.
But
you can keep going.
But and what Shamika Wright went on to say after, she says she thanks him for the lesson though. And there's a lesson to be learned in anything. You know what I'm saying? My favorite rapper, Jay-Z, said, he said, "'Cause I will not lose, they try to help him cheat, but I will not lose, for even in defeat, there's a valuable lesson learned, so that evens it up for me." So, it's all in how you look at the situation. Yeah, you could have said, you could have been like, hey, listen, this right here just crushed me. Or you can be like, okay, I see how that can happen. I see how that went. Let me take that, add that to my arsenal. If such and such goes wrong, I still want to be able to stand on my own. Whether that's a valuable lesson.
That builds toward that resentment thing we were talking about earlier.
But time, and they say this, that time heals all wounds.
Maybe.
I don't agree
A
with that.
lot
I
of
don't either.
women are still upset.
Oh, yes.
They are scorned,
And they gonna be
they are
upset.
scorned for years to come.
Oh, yes.
So, Doc, Trevor, Mel, does time heal
I mean, when you say
no,
time heals,
these wounds?
look, look, man.
I don't think so.
I use my mother's passing as a reference to it. Okay. Do I have nights that sometimes 28 years later that I still shed tears? Of course, here and there, right? And the thing is, you never really forget. You know what I'm saying? Those pictures of seeing her laying in that casket are still just like I was there, just like yesterday.
No,
However,
no, I'm talking about baby mother.
I'm saying
Right,
I'm using it as a reference. But what I'm saying is throughout time, right?
Right.
I've learned to live life without her. You know what I'm saying? So when it goes on to healing with that right there, time will do what you allow it to do if you allow it to do its thing without holding on to it.
Right.
I completely agree. My feeling is women, and I hate to say this, I don't want to be sexist, but I believe women have a natural tendency towards being vindictive and making a man pay for his crimes forever. Like I said, and I don't want to personalize it too much, but I divorced my wife 10 years ago. I contact my wife, my ex-wife, who lives in Japan. I try to contact her every 3-4 months. Hey, can I see the children? She will not let go of what happened 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
Now you start to wonder now, if 10 years pass and you haven't forgiven me, and it doesn't even have to do with forgiving me. You haven't stepped aside so that I can have an avenue towards my children in 10 years. What is going on?
I don't think time heals all wound, because there are 60 and 65 and 70-year-old men that's still on child support.
Well, I don't think that wounds are healed with time. I think that wounds may be dealt with over time, but it's not healed, because some people, the way they behave, their total demeanor is because they were hurt in the past. Something they went through years and years ago has made them hard, or have put up some kind of exterior defensive mechanism or something to that effect, to where their whole personality changed.
Almost hatred.
And I don't think that time heals. I think that you have to work through stuff.
I think what King Mel said is true. Like you said, time don't heal wounds. You have to make an effort to heal those wounds.
Absolutely.
But in very many cases, man, women out there, they're not trying to hear it, and that's too bad. We're gonna get into some other stuff, but I'm gonna let King Lundy close it out for us.
Absolutely.
Seems like we gotta wrap it up.
Yeah, definitely.
I almost hate to close. This was one of these shows that we could spend another 2 hours talking about.
Really
but
could.
unfortunately, because of time restraint, we cannot do it. I wish we could. But you have been tuned into another wonderful, amazing show. We are your talk show kings. I'm King Lundy.
King Mel.
King Trev.
And your boy Doc.
And we're going to let the kings introduce themselves and say our final goodbyes. And we're going to start with Mel.
Hey man, listen, it's King Mel, and to all the fathers out there going through something, listen man, it's hard, I get it, I understand it, but it's tiresome sometimes.
Well, you almost sound like Barry White.
Nah, seriously, sometimes it's tiresome. And I get it, I totally get it, but keep on fighting. I want to give a shout out to my father, Mr. Melvin H. Primus Jr. Listen, man, I love you. That's like, we talk man to man, father to son, friend to friend. That's how we handle these things. To everybody else out there, I appreciate you, Queen K. Thank you for keeping me balanced. I know it's not easy. I'm a lot to deal with, especially my attitude, but you're doing it, and I appreciate it, and I love you. So there we are.
I want to shout out my pops, Mr. Dave Roy Trevor Houchin, who passed on about 25 years ago. But Pops, I think about you all the time, and I'm the man I am because of you. I want to shout out my children, Nayamari, up in the Bronx. Baby, I love you. Shout out my 2 kids in Japan that I haven't seen for 7 years, Tayo Ja, Asia Jade. Daddy's still here, and I'm coming for you one day. Shout out my mom, who passed on last year about this time. I love you forever, Mom. And shout out to the whole world watching us. We here.
Got you, I got you, man.
I want to give a shout out to my father, Mr. Kenneth A. Moore Sr., the man who gave me my sense of responsibility and gave me my black and white viewpoint. I want to give a shout out to my mother, Miss Regina Janet Schofield, the woman who gave me my silly. You know, I love you with all my heart, Mama, and I appreciate you. Shamiki came back and said that it hurt back then, but he's gotten wiser, and the two of them have a better communication,
right,
and that goes on that healing of the wound,
so
not just dealing with it. I want to give a shout out to my military brethren and thank all of you guys for what you do. I know it ain't easy, and know that I love you and appreciate you. And to baby girl, I can't even think about you without smiling. I love you with all my heart, and I think about you constantly, and I just want you to know you're my world.
Absolutely. I want to give a shout out to, first of all, my mother. Lady G, I know you're always watching. I love you so much. Marsha, thank you for being tuned in. Thank you for the comments. Also, I want to give a shout out to my daddy, Edgar Lundy. Pop, I miss you so much. You know, I'm glad that God gave us an opportunity to share the time with you that he did give us. You know, we understand that only death will separate us, you know, and at some point in time, we all gonna leave here. But I wanna give a wonderful shout out to the ones that called me dad. You know who you are. You know, I want nothing more than to leave a door wide open for any type of communication, any kind of relationship. I am here, I ain't going nowhere, you know. And last but not least, I wanna give a shout out to my wonderful wife, Miss Natalie, First Lady Lundy. Thank you so much for being everything that I need and more. I love you so much. And to my siblings, and to my family, to my church, thank you so much. It's been a wonderful opportunity to work with these fine young gentlemen and to be your host tonight. Once again, we want to give a wonderful shout out to our wonderful Executive Director, Mr. Felix Washington.
Felix Alexander. Felix Alexander Washington.
Also to our Media Director, Miss Shantae Barksdale.
Shantae.
And Justin Pulley, if you're still with us, if you're still watching, you know, thanks so much for the opportunity to meet you. And we just want to thank our many fans from here and abroad. Tune in and continue to watch Talk Show Kings. We love you. Join us on Roku real soon.
Oh, yeah.
Look forward to blowing up. You are listening and you're watching Talk Show Kings. Peace up.
A-Town down.
We out.
On your computer every day. Every day.
And also,
listen, we are live. The Talk Show Kings are back, man.
Y'all didn't know before. You're gonna learn today.
The thing about coronavirus is it doesn't care if you're black or white.
It doesn't.
It does not care if you're rich or poor. It does not exclude if you're a Republican or a Democrat.
I'm taking it as in it becoming a hostile environment.
I couldn't even go to the restroom. I would crawl to the restroom and hold the wall to not fall off of the restroom. I couldn't stand up to get in my bed because I seriously thought I was dying.
TV 1061.